how do we know when we find something valuable to work on as a group? I remember can remember the first time we discovered the material in like a super surprise backstage at the concert where there was a written piece. Actually, there was part of the master we did with Ivar and me. The last project was actually writing. There was a composer, Norwegian composer, who wrote a piece, a sinfonietta piece, with the two of us as soloists improvising on top of it. And in the rehearsals of that piece, Ivar had bought a tabla machine, which is like an electronic drum machine using the sounds of a tabla, so and at some point he wanted to use that in the piece. I don't know why, but he liked the sound and he just wanted to try it. And at some point he was sitting backstage, and I put the tabla machine on top of the snare drum, and he was playing the banjo. And when the snare drum resonated with the tabla machine, and the sound of that with the banjo was like nothing that we ever. Why don't we just make a band with this sound, with this combination? So we got together with our favorite bass player, Tony Kluften, and we said, hey, we want to listen to this sound. And from then on we started actually going deep into these possibilities of the sonic possibilities of the combination with this weird Indian kind of tabla, distorted in a snare drum, with the kind of a bluegrass folk thing on top, which was very weird, but I mean it made sense to us, the sound. And also from our experience with improvising, we started to actually stretch everything out in time as well, to actually stay with one idea more than jumping about like with thousands of ideas, because in the end of our many collaborations with the different improvisers, we realized that everything in a way sounded the same. Because we recorded everything, we went back and listened to it, and we found out that all these first meetings are very nice, and we learned a lot from it, but now was the time to actually go down deep inside a material and actually see what's in there. More a minimalistic approach, you can say, but I mean in our experience of improvising, we just cut down the material and stretch it out in time. And this was also actually about sound. The originality of that combination we found was so strong that and the first record we did with this group, and it's only that you can hear in different lengths, and also long pieces, like 20 minutes long pieces with this instrumentation. And also the same thing happened to the quartet, the Dan Les Arbres quartet. We had been improvising with many different musicians, but one collaboration was sticking out. There was something there with the collaboration with Christian Wallenbrød, the Norwegian piano player, that really got the attention from us. We said, let's ask him and see if we can develop something more about with this material. And at the same time, we met the French clarinet player Xavier Charles, and he was in town in Oslo. They said, let's meet up and let's find out something together. And also this first meeting was super important for us. And something happened during that rehearsal, and we decided to actually go further into exploring that quartet as well, which is also now more than 12 years, but we are working with this. And this has also to do with timbre, and also with actually choosing very specific material. And also trying to, in that band, we also try to overlap each other with the way that our sounds interact. For example, the pianist is preparing the piano. More, you can say it more in the John Cage way, putting nails and wooden stuff inside the strings. And this sound that he achieves was very close to, for example, my ceramic bells that I had got from a Norwegian ceramist who had made that for me. And this was sort of also out of pitch. Well, they were not tempered in a way. They were and this also gave some kind of freedom harmonically for the guitar player to also prepare his guitar to also to connect with the sounds and trying to find the same sound. So, and this was just only one. I mean, this with the ceramic bells and the prepared piano. Was only one common sound object that we could use actually to try to move ideas, musical ideas, in between each other without knowing actually who was doing what. And that was also the more like a developing of a collective language that we have developed now over many years. And also doing that, we found other kinds of material that we liked. But for example, if I heard Xavier the clarinet player doing something, hey, this sound, let me try to do this sound, something close to that sound with my drums or whatever I had at disposal. And we all did this. So now in concerts, you can hear that band. Probably you will realize that it's not, it doesn't sound improvised in a way, even though it is, but because we have developed this kind of fixed material over time, and it sounds more like a reflection than an improvisation, because the material is always changing, or the way we present the material is always changing, but you can definitely hear that it's the group, because the sound developed inside the group has such a strong identity. And also if the guitar player, for example, starts a sound or an idea, you can hear that idea like 30 minutes later in the piano, because also the memory and also the way we work with the material lets us actually combine this and make new forms, and which is the case in my work now. I try to also do this in the solo work I do also. Try to imitate sound that I like. For example, I'm really fascinated by electronic sound, but since I'm an acoustic percussionist, how can I make my drums sound electronic in a way? So I'm trying to investigate the possibilities of sounds I like, and I'm here to try to reproduce them in my instruments.